Hi, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at a tournament game that I just played as part of the Tuesday Tussle. So I played someone named Stephen Willie. I'm pretty sure it's a kid from Washington. He's a kid. And because the name looks familiar, and I work for a kid teaching organization. um, but even though he's the lowest rated in the section in the bottom seed, at 1450, I checked his stats a little bit, and he actually played in Charlotte, it looks like, in person maybe, or maybe online. And his blitz rating in USCF is 1700 plus, which is way higher than I've ever been in blitz. Also, his Lee chess rating was over 2000, which I've never broke 2000 on Lee chess, so clearly he's underrated in the tournament. So good to know. So I figured I'd have a game on my hands here. And sure enough, that was the case. Let's have a look at this one. So I had the white pieces, and I played e4. And he played e5, and I went knight f3. And then d5. And I was studying the Evans Gambit lines quite a bit before this game, really expecting Evans Gambit. And instead I got this. So I've actually never studied the Elephant Gambit in my life. I'm lucky I knew that's what this was called. But okay, so what to do? Well, there's a reason that d5 isn't considered a good move. Good moves generally, like knight c6, defend the pawn. So I reasoned that black can't play d5 because they're ignoring this, so I took it. All right, so what does he have in mind here? He took my pawn. I have no idea what Elephant Gambit theory is, so I guess we'll have a look really quick. I guess normally they play... Oh, wow, e takes d5 is most common and is maybe even better. Yeah, the computer likes it. Let's look at this for a second. I didn't know what to do after this. Oh, queen e2. So we pin the pawn, and after queen e7, we go knight to d4. Okay, that makes some sense. I did not see this line, but I also felt like taking on d5 would be more expected. So I took here. This seems very principled to me. All right, so in this, which is also possible, they normally go bishop to d6, attacking the knight. And here I was planning d4. And I guess normally they go d takes e4 here. And I would almost certainly play bishop c4 just looking at this. I guess they'd take the knight then, and then take my queen. All right, never mind. I would go, I don't know, but it says knight c4. Yeah, it makes sense. We don't want to allow bishop takes knight and trade the queens. So this move and then knight f6. I'd be very tempted to take the bishop here. Computer wants bishop e2, develop first. And it goes on from there. So I guess we've learned a little bit of Elephant Gambit theory, which I never wanted to know. But I guess I am going to have to know it. But after knight takes, he took on e4. And now, is this pawn good or bad? I don't know, but I know one thing. When there's a pawn behind your knight like this, you have to be very careful because the escape squares, the main escape squares, are covered. So now you have to make sure that you have other ones. But I do here, so I wasn't too worried. So I played this move. I figured, hey, what could be wrong with attacking f7? And he played queen to d4, which I didn't see, but I think even if I did see it, I wouldn't be afraid of it because it doesn't defend f7. And here I have two options, and if you want to pause your video and tell me what you would play, go ahead and do so now. Okay, so in the game, I actually made an error here. And I didn't realize it the entire game, which is kind of funny. So that shows where I'm at. um, so if we take with the bishop, it comes with check. So that's pretty nice. The king will never castle, and I don't know if, if we do this and they move the king, at the very least we could capture a piece, and then they either recapture or take the knight. By the way, moving the queen again, hopefully moving the queen again. The more tempo's wasted on that queen, the better. And we should have a nice position, I thought. The other one, though, I thought was the more daring one. Knight takes f7, because the rook is trapped. But what I failed to do was count material. I'm embarrassed to say that, but I think I need to say it. Sometimes I don't count material right. And it just seems like one of those basic things you should be able to do. So back to the tactics puzzles for me. If I take and he takes my bishop and I take here and he wins this knight later, which is very likely because the knight's trapped, then I just won a pawn and a rook for a knight and a bishop. And that's not recommended, especially not in the opening. So I actually think knight takes f6 is totally wrong, but that was after I was informed by the computer. So this is the correct move. And like, let's say they go here, still maintaining defense of the bishop. I mean, I could probably take here. I probably can. I could probably even go f4. Can I go f4? I can't go f4 because if en passant we take, and guess what? The queen's under attack, so there's no time to take this. This position looks really good now because he's managed to only move his queen and king, and I'm getting my pieces in the game. So major misstep by me here by playing this move. Yeah, I actually don't like how Lichess shows these things. Can I put this on self-analysis or something? They started doing this recently, but I would rather have it be more like a real chessboard and just... Okay, well, whatever. Because I want to be able to use the engine sometimes. So I have to leave it on. All right, so he did play queen takes bishop. That's the best move. I took the rook, of course. And now knight to f6. Knight to f6 looks innocent enough, but it is sneaky. I learned this from playing against the Traxler counterattack. There's also this bishop g4 move you sometimes have to worry about, because if that comes, look at my queen. And if f3, that looks damaging. So we don't want to do all that. So I played d3, and I was planning this move. It attacks the queen, so that's good. It also gives my queen a square if needed. And if he takes, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I could, well, during the game, I thought I was up material. I guess I am up material, except the knight, good luck getting out, right? So I was planning on trading queens, which is probably a bad mistake. I'll check with the engine just to see. Yeah, it says queen takes d3, black's winning. So I'm so embarrassed that I didn't know the material count. Super embarrassed. Okay. So here he decided to go and attack the knight. Yeah, kind of a strange choice. That's extremely passive. But I guess he felt he had no better options. I mean, honestly, I would probably take the pawn if I was him. I mean, I was going to take with my queen, which is worse, but if I do this, maybe he could check first. Because if I block, then this is available. So, wow, this is kind of annoying. And I cannot block with a knight on here because he will take, and check and fork. Guess I have this move though. But still, that one's a pawn for black. So probably I need to go here. Wow, and if there's queen e6 check. That's kind of annoying. So forcing the trade of queens. I mean, I don't want to play king f1, but it's probably best here. Yeah, and yeah, computer says king f1. Oh man. So this is rough. So queen g8, I was pretty happy to see. It doesn't look like a normal move that would ever be played. So I developed my knight. It's calling it double question mark because I'm getting untangled here. So I'm actually down material a little bit. But now I'm getting more active. Castles. Yep, and see, d3 came in handy. I knew this move was a thing. Oh, and I decided on this one. Computer calls it dubious. I thought blocking my bishop was more dubious. But what's the idea with this? I like queen e8. I guess the idea is knight c6, but queen e8 makes some sense to me. Maybe it's because black is going to castle queenside and the king will not feel the pin. So knight c6. I took the pawn. Castles. Let's pin the knight. Sure, why not? And here, knight to d4. So it's calling it a mistake, but it looks totally natural, doesn't it? Knight to d4. I mean, for you guys, like, if you see the question mark, you're going to be like, oh, of course there's something wrong with it. But when you're in a real game and someone plays this, threatening a fork and threatening maybe this move, and you start looking at your queen moves and you realize if I go here, it's check and they win the queen and stuff like that. You start to be like, hey, maybe that's a good move, because I think it actually is kind of good despite what the computer says. All right, but I need to just see that I cannot go here. Oh, and by the way, I can't go here because knight takes, I think that wins, because if I take back, check, and I lose my queen. So there's just a lot of trickiness with this move, let's put it that way. So it might not be objectively good, but it's a tricky move, and you have to play accurately. Well, I didn't play the move the computer wants. It says queen to e3. I just didn't understand putting my queen here, blocking my bishop from returning at all, and also walking into like rook e8. So queen e3. I kind of get it. Rook e8, I take the knight. That's nice. But wait, isn't that a fork? So what is the idea here? If that's a fork, oh, we're going to take here. I think that's the idea. Let's go ahead and follow the engine line. If they take here, yeah, queen takes a7. And if they take the rook, we're going to go, it says rook to c1. What? Okay, hang on a second. I need more than one line to look at. It says a lot of stuff is good for white. Queen a8 check is good. This is what I would expect. Because then here, Yeah, and I guess now we just take the knight. Oops. We take the knight with our F pawn. No, we do that. All right, I don't understand rook c1 though. I want to learn what this is about. Rook c1. Okay. I guess the idea is that now if we play check and here, c pawn's about to fall. And there's no bishop here because we would take it. And that looks very dangerous. So, pretty interesting. Okay, but none of that happened in the game. I didn't play queen e3. I played queen a5. And I felt this was, you know, a tempo move. You know, what are you going to do about your pawn? So, it makes sense to me. The problem with this, though, is just what happens in the game. Knight c6. All right, so he brings his knight back and he attacks the queen, defends the threat. And actually, my queen is quite uncomfortable. I probably should go queen d2, but I didn't want to walk into the pin and pin my d pawn. Wow, queen d2 is possible. I actually thought this lost because I cannot take the knight. But I have queen f4. What? How? So queen f4, threatening the bishop. Wow, and if they take my bishop, I check, and that's a fork. Okay, that's a really tricky way to play, and it seems unnecessary to me, so I don't like queen d2. But I played here. Queen a4. Well, I only play. This is a mistake because I didn't see what my opponent could do, which was this move. Yeah, I totally missed that. It looks a little risky to me because, you know, black just undefended their back rank. Their bishop hasn't moved yet. Like, it looks a little risky, but it does make my queen quite uncomfortable. And I have news for you guys. Like, I was -2 here already. So, pretty good play by my opponent. Queen b3, what else? I expected rook b4 here. But he didn't do that. He took the knight and he won a pawn. So, fair enough. Pawn grubbing. So, this invites the move f3. But, you know, when somebody allows you to do this, and you know there's 1700 in blitz, you know that they saw this fork and they have an idea. So I actually thought if I go f3, I thought he would check me. Okay, I have to move. And then I think he can move his bishop and attack the queen. And the computer agrees. So f3 doesn't work. Plus it's a weakening move. So I didn't play that. I played here because I felt like now he has to trade rooks. Otherwise, I'm going to check back here, and that looks annoying. So he did trade. And bishop to d6. So, yeah, I thought I was winning here. I thought I was material up. But let's do a material count, okay? He has 2 bishops, a knight, and a queen. I have 1 bishop and a rook for 2 pieces and a queen. But I am a pawn up. So I guess from a purely material standpoint, what is that? I guess I'm down a point. Because his minor pieces are worth 9. My bishop and rook are worth 8. But then I have an extra pawn. So I guess that's material equal. But I would prefer black. And so does the computer. Okay. Well, I was kind of talking myself. This is a 45-minute, 15-second increment game, by the way. So I actually had time to, like, use the bathroom and think about what I should do here. And I had a little self-talk and I said, I'm not sure your material up, but if you are, make sure you find accurate moves and play aggressively and play good chess. Because I have a tendency to try to trade everything and get into these like drawn endings or even blunder, which is even worse. So Queen F7 is my attempt to play more aggressive. I'm threatening Rook to E8. So Knight E5. I actually saw this move, then forgot about it, then played Queen F7. So when it came, I was like, uh-oh, I forgot to analyze this. So I gotta move my queen. So Queen D5. Let's see if that was right. It is right. Okay, and now Queen to E8. Yeah, he's trying to trick me. Kids often do this. Tricks are for kids. So I noticed pretty quickly that even though he's walking into a pin, he's threatening check and then win the rook. And that might even be checkmate, except it's not. I would take, go here. It still looks very, very bad. So we don't want to do that. So I have to watch out for that knight f3 thing. So I thought about playing king f1 here. Thought about playing king h1. I thought about, and by the way, f4 loses to this. So you can't play f4, even though it looks like you're attacking the pin piece. That discovered check wins the day for black. Uh-oh, I have to plug in my computer. So what to do? So I played here. I figured my rook's undefended and I can't, the pin's not real because my rook's undefended, so I defended it. And let's see if the computer likes it. It likes rook e4 better. Defended by the queen. Seems weird to me. It also, but it likes rook e3. It's on the board. Okay. So here he went queen g6. Yeah, and you can see the double question mark, but again, I mean this is a sort of logical move. He's attacking the bishop. He's threatening here, and if he gets here, he might have like back rank threats, So the move is logical, but here I did spot a winning move, which is kind of simple actually. The move rook takes knight. So what's the idea here? Well, if he takes my rook, I play checkmate. That's good for white. And if he doesn't take my rook, I just won a knight. So that's unfortunate. Not only that, but if he doesn't take my rook, I am guarding the bishop. And this is my favorite part. If he takes here, I saw mate in two. Check, here, checkmate. So I was kind of proud of myself in this part of the game because I did see all this. And I'm checking with the engine as we go, and it looks like it's fine. So, yay. So this is actually the winning move, and I had no idea during the game. I thought I was winning the whole game, and this just solidified it. Turns out I was losing the whole game. Well, I was worse the whole game. And this move turned everything around, and now I'm winning. I better start counting my material. I realized, you guys, that this is partly the engine's fault. When I'm analyzing, I often turn on the computer and oh, this is what I really meant. When I'm playing online, the computer keeps count of the material for me. So you know how it usually says like +2 at the bottom or +2 to your opponent. That's what I'm used to. Although I swear I saw that during this game. Okay. But it just turns out that has stopped me from counting my material probably for years, or at least the last year. And that is hurting my chess apparently because I didn't fully have a grasp on what was going on this game. Okay, so h6. I was trying so hard to make queen g8 check work. I was trying to make rook e8 work, but I don't think anything works. And this is, a sharp position. My king is, about to get back rank checkmated if I'm not careful. So it's very tempting to want to play something like h3. But I don't think that's a good move. Instead, I played here. And now after this move, which looked a little crazy to me, but I understand he's trying to get out of that checkmate. But he doesn't totally get out of it because I can like check this way, here, and then checkmate. The only problem is the queen has to move off this diagonal. If the queen ever does, then I have mate in 2. All right, so again, this is the actual position I meant. You have to be careful. I was definitely thinking about f3 and h3 here. And if I play h3, he takes, and then I go, oh. So that's annoying. And f3, I think, is a problem too, because maybe he goes, well, despite the fact that my rook's hanging, I was thinking, yeah, he might even be able to do this. It says it's a draw. And after this, I could throw in a check first. Oh. It's not pinned if the queen's not there. So after this and this is... Okay. I guess white's winning in this position. I'm up in exchange. All right. So after b6, my rook is still attacked and my back rank is still weak. So I played this, rook to e3. And rook to e3 actually guards against bishop h3. So that's why I did that. But it also defends my rook. And then I have no idea why he played this move. Maybe it was a mouse slip. I have no idea. But why would you play this move? I think he was hoping that he was tricking me. But the problem is I take with check. I think he was hoping for this move, winning my queen. Notice that that would be check and takes. But instead, this move is check. So he has to respond to that. And after king here, I now have a very good move. I have a lot of good moves, but bishop g3. Attack the pinned piece. Not to mention, he's still threatening that thing. So bishop g3 actually stops it. I expected him to take it, but he played here, and now that's a free bishop. And not only that, it's almost mate. So that's pretty much checkmate, so he has to sack his queen. I took. And the game ended very quickly from here. Checkmate. So, wow, what a game. It's funny because I literally was excited to check the engine. I'm like, I think I played a really accurate game. Like, I can't wait to see what the computer says. Maybe it was a perfect game. And then it showed me like I had like, well, it says 2 inaccuracies, 3 mistakes, 1 blunder. And certainly the way I played the opening and the fact I was losing the whole game. Well, I was worse the whole game. And I didn't even know. So I was like, okay, yeah, I have work to do still. Can I show you guys the report? I can. So that's what the actual graph looks like. So, right here, yeah, this moment right here is knight takes f7. I had to play bishop takes f7. And then I guess I had little moments here, but this is a kind of hard to see. But then this was when I played rook takes knight. Rook takes knight won the game after that. So, well, I think let's I was gonna say review the critical moments, but I think we just did. So I guess that's all, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm happy to get a win. I'm actually the top seed in my section in the Tuesday Tussle. And now I'm 3 out of 4. So having a good tournament, and I hope to maybe finish off strong next week. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll be back with more chess and some flashcard videos if I haven't posted them already. All right, bye.